Okay, so now we're here in the very challenging practice bunker here at Edgewood in the short game area, and Greg has his most lofted wedge, which is his 58, and this shot is the only shot in golf where we're not trying to hit the golf ball. We're trying to ride the golf ball out on a cushion of sand out to whatever the intended target is. We're going to go to the near side a hole location here on the practice green. So we're going to have to get this ball up with some spin to be able to keep it around the hole and hopefully execute the shot correctly.
So you're going to find with your wedges and sand wedges and lob wedges, you're going to see some kind of number with loft on the golf club. All right, so I have a 58 degree, and I also have a number on 10. The bottom that says 10. What is the 10?
The 10 is the degrees of bounce that the club has, and that's really important. The trail edge is actually higher than, it's going to hit the sand first if the face is square to open and we can release it properly. We definitely don't want the leading edge here in the front to strike the sand first, because the face will close and then we're probably going to be stuck in this bunker doing it again. So our initial goal is to get the ball out of the bunker onto the green, and then as we get better and better at using the bounce and keeping the bounce in the motion, we're going to be able to create spin and higher launches and lofts.
So along with the degree of bounce, we also see a different version of how wide the flange, the sole is. Wider would be more bounce?
Yeah, wider would be more bounce, narrower would be less bounce.
And bounce is your friend.
Bounce
right?
is your bounce is king in a bunker.
Got it.
We all learned in our age group the best player ever, Steffi Ballesteros, was the first to really use bounce in so many different ways in the bunker and around the greens. And so the nice thing about the modern wedge is it's built almost to your needs and to your specifications. Some people like more bounce, so that number might be 14. Some people go all the way down to 6 or 4. But bounce is important and necessary for the shot. So before we go into actually hitting it, I've drawn a line here to we're going to see how Greg does it, the club entering the sand, and the camera will pick up whether we're using the bounce or not. So just like we did for our chip shot, we got to get into a position. So if I had the ball here just in front of this line, we're going to set up very similar. Our weight's going to be a little forward, so we're like a hybrid or driver position, ball position wise, and our weight's going to be forward and left. The addition to that is we're going to sit down a little bit with a little more knee flex, so we can create a little bit more incentive for the club to work around us.
How about, Tom, like digging in with your feet?
Absolutely. The ground is stable. A bunker, even though this is a little bit of a soft bunker right now, we need to get the feet in there. We don't need to dig a trench, but we just need to stabilize the feet. So kind of wiggle in, sit down a little bit, sit into your left thigh or your left hip, and go ahead and try to get that line, remove that line in this little practice swing. Good. So we see the club entered behind the line, took a pretty good cushion of sand, and if the ball was on that cushion, it would have been out onto the green. Now let's do it with the ball. So you can see we're not trying to hit right on the golf ball. We got about 1.5 to 2 inches of margin here. Hold that thought. Okay, so speed is an element, and how do we create speed in a bunker? We create it a lot with soft arms and fast hands and wrists. So we didn't have enough energy for the cushion of sand to throw the ball all the way out. This time we're going to do that by speeding up the release of the wrist. And I think you'll see less sand come out and the ball go. So go ahead and snap that wrist like you're snapping a towel. Went a little behind. The bounce is engaged here by the fact that the face is open. In the motion itself, I'm going to draw a little arc that I want that club to travel on. The club's going to work around us a little bit, and we're really going to speed the wrists up. Soft arms, and the face has to stay open. It could even go further open in this situation, but it's got to remain open. A little softer arms there. Speed the wrists up, and we got this. Yeah. So we're not hitting this with our body. We're stabilizing our weight and our position lower so we can work around, and then we're really using a lot of hand, a little bit of arm speed, but more hand and wrist speed. Really important to accelerate. We've got to have energy for the ball to come out of that cushion on the sand, and that turned out to be a really good shot there.
If you have any questions that you'd like answered, or if you'd like to take some lessons here at beautiful Edgewood Golf Course, you can please contact us in the golf shop at 701-232-2884. You can follow us on Facebook, fargogolf.net, all those great social media accessibilities that we have in a great Fargo Park District Golf.